According to you, what do you think is the lesser evil in a long-term relationship? Routine/repetition or sexlessness? Let's talk about it. This one is a heated discussion. Hi, this is Liana, holistic intimacy coach. Welcome back to my channel and to my bed. Today, I'm just going to film from here. There's a lot going on, so I'm here. Funnily enough, this is the place where I record most of my somatic practices from for my Patreon, because they're audio, and I'm usually lying in bed or on the yoga mattress, which is next to me. So I have this question: what is it better in a long-term relationship, or what is the lesser evil, basically? To just fall into a routine or repetition style with very few variations, or not do it at all? If you're wondering what is my recommendation here, well, I don't have any, because it varies from couple to couple and from person to person. But I have a few angles from which I look at this. First of all, it's important to look at who are the people involved and what kind of temperament do they have. Are they hot-tempered or cold-tempered? This means what kind of libido do they have? Because some people need lots of it and they don't care if it's variation or not. They just need it. They can't really not have it. While other people, the more cold-tempered ones, could go on for months, years without it. Some. Yeah, it might seem, for the majority of people, this might seem extreme and weird. What do you mean go on for years without it? But this does happen in sexless relationships, and that's because at least one of the partners just would rather be without it than, do something that they don't enjoy. So that's one. What kind of temperament do the people have? Secondly, what is going on in their life? Because some people, if they have a lot of trouble, the last thing that they have in mind is sex, honestly. So in some cases, it's not that sexlessness happens on purpose or to avoid something unpleasant. It's just that the focus and the energy and the time is spent on just bigger, like really urgent stuff or really overwhelming stuff. And that's, in those situations, it's not even, it's accidental or it's just contextual. Next, we're looking at what kind of sex are the people having. Because if it's just okay kind of sex or tolerable, probably some would opt for routine or repetition. But if it's sex that, let's say, it's not so enjoyable, or it's detrimental to at least one of the people, or disgusting or challenging or triggering in some way, then in those situations people will naturally tend towards sexlessness. And you can't blame them. I mean, if it's something that nasty, yeah, they'll probably just go on without it and let their long-term partners get it somewhere else, where probably the other person will tolerate it or even enjoy it. Some people opt for that solution. It's not necessarily the best, but it's one that will allow them to keep going. As a coach, I'm also looking at, okay, what do people understand and what do people get by being in a sexless relationship, versus what do people get, how do they benefit in just having repetitive routine sex. You might be surprised. Sometimes when you start to look or dive into these details, especially when somebody's there that is not emotionally involved with you, it's an objective third person or third party person, and they just listen to you like a coach who is trained in sexuality, you might be surprised at the insights that this person will get and share with you. Sometimes, the best outcomes are that people realize they're not as resourceful less as they thought. And sometimes people get ideas or just the courage to go about the stuff that they wanted to do, but they just didn't have the guts, didn't have the hot blood, didn't have, just didn't have the drive for it. And sometimes just a coaching discussion where you dive into both aspects. Okay, what does routine mean to you and what does sexlessness mean to you? You just get the spark, get the guts to do it. the stuff that you always wanted to do or you had in mind. Most people are not resourceless, if that's a word. Most people just, something is disconnected, and usually just by talking things out, they connect better. And when it comes to routine, because maybe sometimes you just don't have the energy to engage with new stuff, with adventurous stuff. You don't have the time, you don't have the money, whatever's going on, you just don't have something to do that. Sometimes routine can also, you can also enjoy routine. And that is my specialty also, because sometimes routine is better than nothing. If it's the kind of sex that will still, you'll be okay with it, you will enjoy it, it's better to do it than nothing at all. Because when you're doing nothing at all, there's a high chance that you're blocking yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, in terms of mindset also, especially if you're an adult that, fully hot-blooded adult that still has the instinct. It's really not a good idea to block it. So routine might actually be enjoyable when you have the mindset, especially like, performance athletes or any kind of athletes, they go for routine training. That's what performance is built on. That's where inspiration comes from. That's where genius comes from sometimes, outstanding things, from routine and repetition. It's not always a bad thing. When it comes to routine, what I have is my practice community. It's on Patreon. Some of those practices are around sexuality, okay? They're geared around breast massage, pelvic floor practices, orgasm practices, orgasm related, just affirmations, clearing of blockages of energies, and so on. So, and then there are other practices designed to help you just maintain a positive mindset, diminish physical pain or discomfort in the body, focus or get better focus, inspiration sometimes. So it's a community with a lot of practices which are geared around routine. But that is fun routine, basically. And you've got like about 180 practices to choose from. So if you ever want to change your relationship to routine and repetition, that is a great tool that I have. Okay, I'll leave it under the video in the description. Check it out. It's valid, or it's good for both men and women. Okay, so I would love to know if you made it this far. Drop me a heart emoji. And also, what do you think is the lesser evil in a relationship? Repetition, routine, or sexlessness? I'm looking forward to reading your comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.